Well, absolutely, Sakina. It's been an exceptionally busy period for South African diplomats. I mean, you go back to Monday when they were hosting the Russian Federation. Foreign Affairs Minister Sergei Lavrov, where South Africa was deepening its bilateral relations with the Russian Federation and talking about a number of issues as BRICS members, and of course talking about a huge international story of the Ukraine conflict. So today it is the turn of the EU top diplomat, Mr. Borrell, quite a very important partner to South Africa, Sakina. South Africa and EU, you look at this very strategic partnership where they work around so many areas. You look at innovation, you look at education, but also in the main, Sakina, we do know that with South Africa experiencing some energy challenges, the issue of the just energy transition is going to be one of the very central points that the two leaders will be looking at once they do co-chair the political dialogue. And of course, Mr. Borrell is accompanied by a very heavy delegation as well. You look at a number of critical areas around issues of health as well. And we do know that the issue of vaccine production as well is going to be one of the very central areas that the two ministers will be focusing upon.
Kaya, do we know what some of the issues are that are expected to feature on today's agenda?
Well, undoubtedly, Sakina, the issue of trade and investment is going to be some of the very main priorities that the two leaders will be exploring, especially because South Africa and EU, these are very important partners. They collaborate in so many aspects, whether you look at higher education as well, but also apart from that, apart from international relations and cooperation minister, a number of cabinet members as well will be joining Minister Pandor, the likes of Finance Minister Godongwana, and of course Ibrahim Patel, responsible for competition and trade as well, will be part and parcel of these discussions, especially because EU and South Africa, they're looking at resetting their relations, especially in this context that is very unstable when you look at the geopolitical environment, a very volatile situation. But also apart from that, we know that the issue of job creation as well is always important, especially for South Africa. With COVID-19, quite a number of jobs were lost. So once again, this is going to be another very important platform for South Africa and EU in terms of looking at that area.
And just looking ahead, Kaya, I understand the top diplomat will also be making his way to neighboring Botswana. Do we know whether it's going to be a similar agenda or if there's anything more specific to go on to that?
Another very critical partner, Sakina, of the EU, of course, is Botswana. But also apart from that, it is, it's hosting the Southern African Development Community's head office. So apart from the engagement with Botswana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Borrell will also get an opportunity to engage with the SADC Secretary, Mr. Elias, of course, looking at the issues around peace and security. We do know that EU as well has been quite a very important partner when it comes to the fighting of terrorism in northern parts of Mozambique. So those are some of the issues that they'll be looking at. But something also that is quite interesting, Sakina, of course, will have to be the Ukraine conflict. We do know that EU has been a very staunch supporter of Ukraine, supplying artillery and the weapons. And we know with South Africa, we do have this non-aligned position where we do say we don't want to be seen as taking a certain side, and South Africa has been calling for a peaceful settlement in this conflict that has had very far-reaching implications for the global economy.